My name is Zelda. What got me into modeling was getting discovered as a go-go dancer at Ground Zero at first, and I kind of did some kimbaku modeling, which is Japanese therapy rope bondage, and from there it just kind of evolved into different situations and escapes. I'd been offered the situation a few times, but it took me a while before I actually jumped on it. I want to be a model because I feel it will open up a new area in my life of networking and connecting and being able to meet people with similar interests and ideas that I can be able to brainstorm better with than where I am currently, and it's already proven to be that way, so I'm excited to see what the future may hold. Well, of course, Anna, one of my really close friends, meow meow, meow meow, and I guess one of the reasons I hadn't jumped on modeling as fast is because I wasn't sure how to trust photographers, like what situations were good situations to be in, but when she reached out to me, I personally knew that this was a good situation. This would, lead to something bigger and better. It wasn't just a dead-end spot, and it wasn't anything to be worried about, so that level of comfort added to arriving to TheHootRide definitely made it easier to just kind of meld into it.
Awesome. And how's it working with the photographer?
So far, excellent. He's very responsive, always making sure to be aware of the model and what they're doing, how they're feeling, if they're comfortable. Very direct in how he knows what pictures he wants to get. He knows how to find the background in the right spot where you are. So it's nice when they're actively brainstorming the best way to get the picture of you as they're working with you, because you know that it's not just a generic idea, they're actually fitting the picture to what you're doing. That's nice. I really like that effort. Well, there's a lot that's going to be happening in the future, but where we're just kind of starting is to breach the rave EDM side of the girls in the Midwest and kind of try to see if they want to start doing a lot of themed photography. I think that there's so much potential and there's so much art with the outfits and the hair colors and the black lights and the candy. There's so much going on and there's so much energy and love and passion that it's just an untapped source that we should totally just be diving right into. There's so much more, like apparel. Of course, it's all about the glowing clothes and the crazy outfits and the candy and the accessories, so there's a lot to be said for when we get into that, but starting out, I'd just like to see what kind of girls we can get on board with that aesthetic. There isn't a lot of other alternative modeling companies out there, and it's very frustrating to see so much personal body art, so much effort and time and care that women will put into themselves to make their story show on their skin and how they look, because they want so badly to be presented as how they are. And the fact that that doesn't get appreciated as much as it should is frustrating, but it's really nice and wonderful to see something like TheHootRide come in and say, no, this is really fucking cool, this is amazing, we need to tap into this, we need to see where it can go, because these people obviously have a lot of care and passion about how they present themselves, and that's kind of what you want to look for in a model. Well, it's nice because I was came into this already locked and loaded with outfits and things to wear. I had spent a lot of time as a raver and a dancer mostly putting it into the outfits. I love the outfits, the fun colors, the reacting you can get with black lights and mixing that all up and together, mix and match and play, and having that as an already set talent and passion comes into play perfectly with modeling, and how I get to further that even more, but for a wider crowd. More people get to see it, more people get to appreciate it. I'm really excited to see where that's gonna go, because I really love outfits. I really love clothing and making someone's style be fully evident in the way they carry themselves and what they're I guess the most challenging part is keeping it all scheduled and together, because neither of the jobs I'm working right now have a schedule that's set in stone. The structures and there, you have to make it yourself. So that's probably the biggest challenge I'm facing, but it's better at the end of the day because that gives me a better handle on how I'm controlling my own life and making my own progress. Probably in the flow with the photographer, when I was doing kimbaku modeling, It was difficult to coordinate, the person tying you and then the photographer and getting the poses just right. So you end up kind of forgetting about one or the other. You're more focused on the tying or you're more focused on the posing, and if you go too far in one or the other edge, you're going to tip. And I ended up forgetting to hold one of my arms upright, and a knot slipped, and I ended up freaking out because it had gripped too hard, and I scared the photographer, and they were like, you really gotta make sure that if something goes wrong, you don't freak out. You just go with the flow, just let it happen, someone will figure it out. And that's one of the things I gotta actively remind myself. If I slip and fall, just go with the fall. Do you do squats?
Yeah, I've been asked that too.
Or how did you get your hair to look like that? Do you do squats? How did you get your hair to look like that? And did you make that yourself? There was this one time that this guy came up to me at a train station while I had come off of a concert for dancing, and he started flirting with me. I'm not interested, clearly, indicated that, and said, I'm just kind of trying to wait for the train. And he's like, oh, that's too bad. Why do you want to talk to me, baby? You're cool. And he just grabs my butt. That's a problem. I solved it by flipping him over my shoulder onto his back. The advice I guess I wish I would have been given when I had started all of this would be, let the bad days happen. Don't fight them. It's part of how you build your confidence and kind of figure out what your specific field to be able to handle what you're doing is, because everyone does it differently. And the more you try to fight it and try to just work and be like, no, I'm just doing this wrong, I just need to not screw up as much as, no, you just need to let it happen so you can learn to do it right, because you're not going to figure it out just by stopping yourself. You got to keep going through the motions and keep making it happen and keep going back at it, because eventually you're going to catch the right moment and it's going to make more sense.